Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is Lorian, as most of you will probably know. I'm a mum of 5 and I'm going to be doing a Q&A. So, bit of background on me if you don't know me. Then as I said, I have 5 children. So I have 3 boys and then I have 2 little girls. So my children's names are Cosmo, Horatio, Rue, Flossie and Lilac. They are 10, 7, 3, but he's almost 4. He's 4 in May. To 8 months today. I have asked you for some questions. I think I'm going to have too many that I'm going to need to do 2 videos. So I'm going to start with one today. Sorry for any background noise. Flossie is sitting there watching television. I can't really get away. There's always a child somewhere. My eldest 2 boys are at school. My littlest boy is at nursery. Flossie is always here at the moment. And Lilac is napping. Flossie has stopped napping in the day now. She can climb up her cot, so it's just ended because she just wouldn't stay there. She doesn't come up bedtime though. She stays in at bedtime. So yeah, sides need to come down really. I'm going to answer some questions, so I'm just going to start with the first ones I got. What is my favourite song? Like, I don't really have an all-time favourite song. I have a favourite song now. So at the moment, my favourite song, it's really hard. So I don't know what everyone else like when they listen to music, but obviously like on Spotify, I have my liked songs and I listen to my liked songs when I get in the car and repeat. So like every time I get in the car, get all the kids in, get my liked songs on and I'm happy. But Curtis will like just put on a playlist of anything, not anything, like something he does like, but with just like a mixture of songs in it. Whereas I just like literally have to listen to the song I like now. And I'm like, I play it on repeat until I get really bored of it. But I do find that in the last year or so, I've really got into country music and I can't get bored of them. I can listen to them over and over and over again. At the moment, my top song is Morgan Wallen, Last Night, and Luke Combs, Love You Anyway. It's really hard to choose a favourite. They're the 2 that I'm really listening to at the moment, but I will show you my current like songs. I have 7 on my playlist. So I have 2 of Morgan Wallen's new songs, love those 2. Luke Combs' song, this song is like mine and Curtis's song. Yeah, so Morgan Wallen obsessed. It was always Luke Combs and he will always be my favourite. But yeah, Morgan Wallen's got to me recently. Some YouTube channels I like to follow, so I'll have a look at my subscriptions. I do find it hard to find the time to do things like that because by the time I've like edited my 3 videos for the week, looked after 5 children, I sit down in the evening and then it's like mine and Curtis's time. So I don't really get a chance to sit and watch YouTube a lot, but my number 1 favourite has always been Rebecca Lamb. She's my favourite. Always, like, she's the reason why I started YouTube. She's just always been my favourite. I think I could always really relate to her as like being the same age and yeah, I just really, really like Rebecca Lamb. She's my favourite. I love to follow some American channels, so Beauty and the Beastons, Tiffany Beaston, Tara Henderson, always found them really lovely, really interesting. I like Charlotte Louise Taylor. I do love her videos. I think she's just really nice, kind, down-to-earth person. So how do you get your children to be so polite and well-behaved all the time? They really aren't. I know everyone says that they're really, well, they are very polite to be fair, but really well-behaved, they're definitely not. I'd say I think like right place, right time. They know when we go out somewhere, not that they don't play up because they do, but they do know like how to act where and they act differently around different people too. I don't know if you find that with your children, but like sometimes I can see like their personalities change depending on who they're talking to. But I've just always made sure that they've just, I think my mum brought me up to like always really say my please and thank yous, and I know I oversay it, and just be respectful to people around me, and she'd just always make sure that we engage in conversations if someone's talking to us. So I've just sort of like always done that with my children too, but they definitely aren't well behaved, honestly. If you saw some days in my home, Horatio and Rue clash a lot. They really clash. Sometimes you see them really getting along, but not often. I think it's like I think they're really similar in personality. Sorry, I really took my hands. And I think that just like causes a bit of a clash between them. Cosmo's really easygoing, so he just gets on with everyone the same. But yeah, I do. Hello, my princess. What's wrong? What have you done? What do you want to watch? They fight even. Like Horatio and Rue sometimes will actually fight. And yeah, I'm not perfect, they're not perfect, no one's perfect. Not a question, but I love your channel. I think you're an amazing mum and get a lot of inspiration from you. I think that's so sweet, honestly. Like, I started this not even thinking people would really like me that much, or that anyone would see me. Yes, darling. I started this sort of not even really thinking it would get anywhere, but just hopeful I might. And I just can't believe that everybody likes me the way they do. I love your channel. I think you're an amazing mum and get a lot of inspiration from your videos. Thank you for all your efforts on your channel. It's just so nice. Like, I can't believe that everyone, like, not everyone, but some people just see me in that way. And I think, like, it's given me so much confidence. And, like, I have all of you to thank for that. Like, you've all really helped my self-confidence, and I am really grateful for that. And I love you all, and you're just all just so amazing. It's just so nice that you can just do something like this and just make so many friends online. And yeah, I'm just really grateful for that. I can't even like begin to explain what it means to me. Don't want to sound like over the top or dramatic or anything, but it just really does mean everything to me. You're all amazing, and I appreciate you all so much. You're always so calm and chilled, which I admire. Ever get touched out or overstimulated by the children? All the time. All the time. Like, not all the time, but a lot, yeah. Sometimes Curtis comes home and like, oh, they had the worst day. I think I am quite, like, calm and easygoing with them. I feel bad for them, like, all the time, just because I just want them to always feel happy. So I'm trying to, like, make sure that I'm always as calm with them. And Flossie's just an emotional wreck at the moment. Yeah, so I do... Right, don't touch it. Yeah, so yeah, I get touched out. Sometimes, everywhere I go, Flossie follows me around the house. Everything I do, I turn around and I step on a child, like someone is somewhere. And as much as it's amazing, do I do that too much? It does get to me, and some days is too much. I think if I didn't have Curtis to help me, I'd really struggle, because he takes a huge part of parenting, as well as like working full time. He has his own business, and he does a lot. Yeah, I think Curtis is much more uptight than me. So, like, if you're out at the shops and your children are, like, running around, I think... I used to feel like, stop running around, but now I think, like, it doesn't really matter. As long as they're not, like, running in people's way and they're not annoying people and just being rude, then I just think they're children. If an adult can't respect the fact that a child is just probably bored in a shop and being a child, then... without sounding rude, like, that's their problem. They need to sort that out for themselves, because if my child is being a little bit noisy or running around, they're a child. I can't stop a 4 and 7 year old boy from running around. Like, I can, but you know what I mean? Like, I just don't want to crush them. I think Kurt will be like, stop it, come here. And he starts to get really cross, and I'm like, it doesn't matter. Like, they're not being rude. So you do need to let children be children and sort of like calm yourself down and realise, like, what's the worst that's going to happen now? Like, sometimes I just think, like, what's the worst thing that could happen right now? Nothing. So you just need to, like, try and calm down. But I get burnt out, and at the end of the day, I just need to sit down. That's why, like, my nighttime routine is just so important to me, because I need the children to all be in bed by 7:30. Normally, unless it's, like, you know, an exception or something, they have to be in bed by then. Strict rule, got to happen. I need my time in the evening. So I think looking forward to that as well is just sort of like helps me with the burnout. Boy names you considered or would have used for Flossie and Lilac. I have a one all-time favourite. No, she's not. Which is Hero for a little boy. I think it's a boy's or girl's name, but I would love to use it for a little boy. The whole subject of babies is a whole other thing for me. So I'm not going to get into like more children and stuff at the moment, because that's a big topic for me. But yeah, Hero. What else did I like? I like Clement. I thought that was nice. But I find it really hard to choose baby names. So I'd say like my number one top name, if Lilac was a boy, 100% she would have been Hero. Whereabouts in the country do you live? We live in Kent. We hope to move. I won't necessarily always stay in Kent. It's just like we used to live in Surrey when I did as a child, lived in Surrey and Croydon, and I was born that way, and my parents moved into a village, and we've just always been this way, and then they moved like out of the village and into a town, and then me and Kurt have moved like out into our own town. Where we live is not forever. We're hoping to move this year, would be like a goal of ours. We're probably going to stay here for the summer, and I'm just going into other things now, aren't I? But we're hoping to stay here for the summer because our house is amazing in the summer. The views are incredible and we love our outside area. We're not necessarily like stuck on staying in Kent. We're just sort of looking for our dream house, wherever that may be. We're sort of like happy to go wherever. What time do you go to bed? So I go to bed, well, me and Curtis always go together. There's not a night where we don't go to bed together. We got into a habit recently of going at like 11:30, 12, and we really noticed it. It makes such a difference to your day. So if you are struggling like in the morning with getting up and everything, just make sure you have a consistent bedtime. So we try and get into bed for 10 o'clock now, and we are always asleep by like 10:30. And I just find that in the morning we get up for about 6:30 and I just don't feel like crap. And yeah, it really helps. Also, we used to drink quite a bit. I wouldn't, like, not alcoholics, but we used to like love to have a few drinks. And I'd say like a few years ago, we would like always have a drink every night. We have stopped that now. Very occasionally we'll have one on a weekend. We've really cut it out, and that makes such a big difference to my sleep. I notice that if I do ever have a couple of drinks, like sometimes on a Friday or Saturday night we'll have a couple, I feel like crap the next day. Even if I've not drunk a lot, like just like a couple of glasses of wine, not drunk, it still makes a big difference to my sleep. Yeah, so I'd say like a consistent bedtime is so key for like having a good day with your children the next day. Do you get used to sleep deprivation? If that's how you say it. Yeah, I would say I struggled with my struggled. We both struggled. It was hard work, and I think like you go from being you, doing what you want, going where you want, sleeping when you want, to never doing anything for you again, really. You okay? Yeah. And we struggled, like we would sit up with Cosmo till 4 o'clock in the morning and be like, please go to sleep, and he never slept. But you do get to a breakthrough point where they go to sleep. Here's a candle. Yeah. Yeah. Mommy. Look at me, darling. You hurt your head when you fell over, didn't you? Yeah. You look like you don't feel very well. I probably didn't get used to it until like my 3rd, I reckon. And then you suddenly like get into like, I'm never going to sleep again. You do. But bedtime routine is everything. But yeah, you get used to it. You really get used to it. With Cosmo and Horatio and Brew, I would fall asleep on the sofa in the day all the time. Always be asleep on the sofa. Not always, but you know. And I never, ever, ever fall asleep in the day anymore, ever. And I've got more children. So I do think you just get used to it. You just get on, you just keep going, and it just all gets easier. So what do me and Curtis do when the children go to bed? We really look forward to it. Like, that's our time, and we look forward to it all day long. And like, if he's not at work, we'll text each other in the day like, oh, I can't wait to sit down tonight. So our favourite thing in the evening is just to sit down. We normally have like a TV series we're watching together. So at the moment it's called You. What have we watched? The Last of Us. That's actually quite good. That's not my sort of thing, but it is quite good. And then on a Friday we like to watch a film. So at the moment we like a Liam Neeson film, and this Friday we're going to watch a Liam Neeson film. We're going to get a Chinese, and we are really looking forward to it. It's like things like that I think you really need in a relationship, just to like have that time together. That's why the children have to go to bed, because I need that time and we need that time together. How well do I get on with my parents? So I get on really well with both my parents. I couldn't, like, I know some people, like, this sounds weird, but have like a favourite. I don't have a favourite. I get on with my dad and my mum really equally. I speak to them a lot. I see my dad once a week, where he comes to see me because he's moved a few hours away. I just really get on with them both. Like, I could call them both at any time of the day just to speak about anything, really. And they're like huge rocks in my life. Like, I need them. My dad's just like always just been such an incredible dad. He would do anything for me, and he's just always been there, like, to help me in any way I've ever needed. Like, when we used to not have much money, he was always there financially for me, just always like taking the pressure off. And now he's just there for me for advice and help, and he's a really good friend of mine. And my mum, exactly the same. So she now lives in America. She has lived there since just before I had Rue. A month before I had Rue, my mum went to America. I've seen her twice since. She's met all the children because she came down last August, so she met Lilac then, because Lilac was born in July. And yeah, my mum, same. Like, when she was here, we were like best friends, and I'd go around her house every day, and we would speak every day, and we would call each other every day. And yeah, I'd just say we had like an amazing friendship, which has changed as she's left because I can't go and see her, so it's not the same. But we speak every single day, like texting every single day about everything, and I could speak to my mum about anything and everything. The time zones are stressful because she's not always available when I need to speak to her, so I think I found it really hard when she went because I would always call her, text her and go and see her, and then it got to the point where I couldn't. So if I needed advice, I felt like I had nobody to talk to because she's like 8 hours difference. Like, by the time it's 3 o'clock where I am, she's just waking up. So I've had my day and I've had to get on and deal with myself. So I think I really learned some independence when my mum went. And how many siblings do I have? So I have a lot of siblings. My sister said, which makes me laugh, I just found this out the other day. She said that when she's out somewhere, somebody said, how many siblings do you have? She's just like, oh, I just have one sister. Because then that's the end of conversation. Because when you say to somebody, I have like 4 brothers and 2 sisters, they're like, wow. And then you start a big conversation and she's like, I don't have time for it. She's like, so I just say, I've just got a sister. Yeah, anyway, back onto the subject. Yeah, so I have 4 brothers and I have 2 sisters. One of my brothers is my mum and stepdad. The rest are my mum and dad's. How many children did you want when you were younger before you had any children? I always wanted 4 children. I wanted 2 boys and I wanted 2 girls. I always used to say, I'm going to have 4 kids, I'm going to have 2 boys, and I'm going to have 2 girls. If not, then I want all girls, I used to say. And obviously I have, what are you doing? I have 3 boys and 2 girls, so I'm absolutely over the moon with my children. It's everything I've ever wanted, and there's nothing I could want more. Like, and Curtis, nobody asked, but Curtis never really had an opinion on much. He would have said a couple of kids. He never really was that fussed. And he's definitely done. How old were you when you had your first child? I was 19. Curtis was 18. He was 18. Sure he was. He is younger than me. Not really. I'm December, he's July. So he's 7 months younger than me. And yeah, we were babies. We grew up quickly and we struggled relationship-wise and financially. But now, like, it's just everything, isn't it? How do you manage financially with so many children? We didn't used to. So when we had our first couple, I would say we were poor. Like, we were living like next week's wage before we got next week's wage. We struggled. My dad helped me out hugely financially. My mum would help me too sometimes. Yeah, we struggled. Now, since Curtis went self-employed and he started up his own business, things are completely different, but I don't take anything for granted, and I know that everything... Are you picking your nose? You can't do that. But I know that anything can change, and I would be ready for that. Like, I know I spend a lot of money on our food, and I feel like maybe we go out quite a bit and do some nice things, but I do know that anything can change, and I do know how to live with no money. So it wouldn't really be, it would be a shame, but it wouldn't be a shock to me. I would be able to manage. How tall am I? I am 5'4". Yeah, I'm 5'4". How do you cope with lack of sleep? I wouldn't say I have lack of sleep. So Lilac wakes up once or twice in the night. I go to bed around 10 o'clock. Yeah, so I don't have lack of sleep. I would say, like, you really need a strict bedtime routine from a young age, and you need to stick with it, and you children need to go to bed. You need it. What would a perfect day to you look like? A perfect day as a family would be us just going out somewhere for a day. Some of our best days have been going for walks. So I'd say, like, having a picnic and going for a walk. Just like we live like near like the countryside, and That would be like a perfect day for me, because if I could have a day to myself, I would still choose to be with my children. So a perfect day for me would just to be have a nice day with Curtis and the children. Do you have a meal plan written down to make your life easier? I used to write it down, but I don't write it down anymore. I know people say that I'm like really good with dinners and things, and how do I think of it, and how do I have time for it? Time, you can make time. I think like when Lila's playing and that, I'll pop and do dinner. I found I used to always sit around on my phone and do nothing like a few years ago, and now I make sure I get up and I do something. So I'll get up, and if I can prep dinner, I'll prep dinner. Yeah. And I don't really meal plan. Like if say like I'll grab 5 different meats normally for a week, because I know that one day we'll probably be out and we'll eat something. One day we can have something nice and simple like a baked potato or some plain pasta. Like we don't always need meats. If I grab like 5 meats for the week, I can just think of some different things for it, and I'll just always switch it up every week. I used to write it all down, and I don't really anymore. I'm meaning to sit down and write down like essentials for my shop and all the bits that I need to make sure each week I can look at it, because I always forget something on my food shop. So I want to make sure that I get like my essential bits and stuff written down, and just like sort of keep track properly of what I need, because I forget. Like I just had to pop out this morning and get some toilet roll because I forgot to get it on my food shop. So I think I need to write down like essentials, dinners, cupboard like must-haves. Like I feel like there's stuff I always need in my cupboard, like baked beans, tuna, pasta, rice. I need to make sure it's always in my cupboard, because then you can always make a dinner. Do you ever forget nappies, coats when you're out? All the time. So I literally just went up to Rue's school and realised that Flossie didn't have her coat, and there was a jumper I could use in the car, but it's not right. And I do things like that a lot. Like we'll get someone and be like, oh no, I've got no snacks for Lilac, or we've run out of nappies. I did think I do that quite a lot. I know I seem really organised and like with it and together, but we all are really the same. And if you're doing something you think's wrong, I'm doing it too. Because yeah, I forget things all the time. Like a change of outfit. Sometimes I've forgotten to put one in my bag, and I've had to go out and buy another outfit, and I hate that because I don't really tend to pay full price for clothes. I usually go on the next sale and I buy things in the sales. There's always some lovely bits in there. They're always such a good price. So yeah, I do struggle with that. What car do you currently have, and what have you had? So when it was just me, myself and I had a Toyota Aygo, which is just a 4-seat car. And then we had a Cosmo, and it was fine. It still worked really well. And we had 5 doors. So yeah, it was still fine, really good on fuel back when everything was cheap. And then we were having a ratio, and I thought I need a double pushchair. And I need a bigger car, so we got a Toyota Avensis, which is like an estate car. Loved that car. It was really nice. The boot was so roomy, and my dad helped us pay for that. So yeah, like I'm not gonna lie to you, we didn't do everything ourselves, and we did have a lot of help. So if you're sitting there thinking like I had this and that, I didn't. My dad helped us to pay for that. He also bought me my first car, so I didn't even do that myself. Curtis bought his own first car, I didn't. And then we were having Rue, and we thought we need more space again because 3 seats didn't work in the middle. So we got a full Galaxy. Again, my dad helped us. We still didn't have much money. And yeah, that was a really good car. We had that for a few years. It was like an ex-taxi, and it had done like over 100,000 miles, which was a lot for its age at the time. But yeah, we loved that car. That was an amazing car. We had that even when we had Flossie. We still had it because it has 5 seats, doesn't it? We have 4 children. We would put the middle seat down, and the kids could walk through to the back. And then we found out we were having Lilac, and again, that wouldn't have worked because although the seats, there wasn't enough space, especially of big boys. Like Cosmo's quite big, and it just wouldn't have worked. So we got our car ourselves. Yeah, we got a Hyundai i800. It has 8 seats, and it's amazing. I love it. It's like a van, and it's got so much space, and it's so nice. It's like, I know it sounds really silly, because I know it's like a dream car for me. I think because I always know that I've wanted so many children, a car like that is just a dream, because it means I've got my kids, I've got my car, I've got everything I need if I've got my kids. Will you have any more children? This is such a big subject for me. I could talk about it for ages. Everyone says to me like, you need to stop, you can't have any more kids, like you're crazy. I don't like it when people say that, because I love my children. My children are my life. and I enjoy it. Like my sister's like, Lauren, you're crazy. It's like, I enjoy it. It is. It's like, it's my thing. Like, it's me, and one day that will be big and grown, and that will break my heart. But yeah, I also will make sure that I'm not one of those overprotective mothers or mother-in-laws, because I have good experience with that. Not from my mother. She's amazing. Yeah, I don't know. I think like I struggled in the way like my mum moved away, and I had 3 other people that could have stepped up and been mother figures to me, and they weren't. And I can't really understand why, because I think that I'm just really nice to all of them, and nobody was really like, Lauren, are you okay? My mum's not gone, she's still there, I know, but like somebody here to help me, because I was a month away from giving birth, and I think I did so much on my own. Obviously, Curtis is like huge in that. He does so much for me. But yeah, I just think I could have had a lot of support, and I had none. And I will never understand why relationships I have gone the way they have. Like some of you are just like, I feel like you're like really motherly to me. I feel like, I can't explain it. Like I have that sort of relationship with you, which I really like, because I feel like I could talk to you about anything. And I feel like it's such a shame. Like I wish some of you were my mother-in-laws. I crave a lovely mother-in-law relationship. It's something I've always wanted, and I've never had it. And it makes me feel like I'm a problem, but I know that I don't do anything wrong. I try hard, I make an effort, and I do my best, and it's never good enough. But anyway, that wasn't really the topic of conversation, was it? Anyway, the question was, will we have any more children? I think no. And it really upsets me to say that, because I could have another one now. But I just think, like, will I ever be done? Curtis is very firm on that he's done. And I do think that I should respect that and not push him. So I haven't, because our family's very complete. In a relationship, our relationship is very amazing as it is right now. Like, me and Curtis have always had, we have struggled, but now for years we've always had a very strong relationship. And we've got to this point in like the last month or so where we've really peaked, and it just feels really different in a really good way. I can't explain it. But we're at a really good point, like financially, with children, in our relationship. We're going to move house this year, God willing. So I think like, Curtis says all of this, and he says like we're at an incredible point right now. We've got a nice mixture of children, and we need to just stop and have some time for each other, with each other, which I totally agree on. But part of me will always want another baby. I would love a little boy called Hero. Although a girl would equal my numbers and have like 3 of each, I would love a little boy, because I feel like I haven't had a little boy in 4 years now, and I would just love that. But I'm 30 in December, so 9 months from now. If I was going to have a baby, I would have liked to have had one before I'm 30. I think I probably wouldn't have another one after the end of next year. I just don't think it's going to happen. Unless it happens by accident, it's not going to happen. I don't think I could really get Curtis to agree on it without really pushing him, and I just wouldn't be comfortable doing that. I also think I was really unwell last year, which Curtis says. I had sepsis, and it could have been caused by giving birth. And it's just probably best for my health as well that I just call it a day on babies. So I'm going to stop now. That's the end of my questions. I hope that answered everything. I hope you enjoyed the video, and it gave you a little bit more insight into me. If you have any more questions, leave them below. I'll write them all down, and I'll pop it up on my Instagram again. I'm sure I'm going to get more questions throughout the day. Yeah, so I really hope you enjoyed watching this, and you just know a little bit more about me now. And I will see you on Tuesday, which is not Food Haul. Food Haul's Thursday. It's a Meals of the Week on Tuesday. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and hopefully I will see you on my next video.